What is today? Today's Thursday, May 16th. What we got going on right now is we're just getting these soaker lines straightened back up, getting all the soakers pointed in the right place, and flushing out the line. Getting the line flushed out and everything like that. Temperature's starting to get in the mid 80s, upper 80s, and it's time to start getting. It's time to start flushing, or it's time to start soaking the cows while they're eating, keep them cool. So I got that loose. I'm just gonna leave it like that for right now. And sometimes you can do the whole entire line like this. That's what I'm about doing. Yeah, it's pretty close. Got a little too high. So there's the soakers. They got a ball in them with a spring, so they got to have so much pressure on them to open up and actually spray. And then they fan water out over the cows' backs and keep them cool. So just while they've been sitting all winter, they've moved and shifted, and people climbing over them or whatever kind of have made them drop down. But we'll get them all lined back up and flush out the line and get the and then we'll get the controller all set for times and temperature and everything like that. Come on now. That's about right. So on the controller, we'll go through it here in a little bit, but we got 3 different settings for 3 different temperatures. Obviously, the lower temperature usually set 70-75 degrees. We'll just give it a like a 10-20 second soak and a 5-minute rest period, and then so every 5 minutes it'll turn on for 20 seconds just to get the cows good and wet, and then I guess you call it evaporative cooling. So get the cows drenched, turn the water off, and then they do the same thing if you spray yourself with a water hose. Then obviously you get up to like 90 degrees, and then it goes, whatever you want to set it at. We usually do like a 30-second soak every minute or so. So we'll get all that set up and get these lines flushed out. Okay, we're down here by the, not quite center, but I think it's actually like the 80 cow mark. And what we got here is these buckets that we put in the ground. This one has the valve to do those 2 water troughs. This one, lid's busted on it, but it does those 2 water troughs and the water nozzle at the end. And then this one here does the soaker line. So we just cut a hole in the bottom of the bucket, stuck it over the valve, and then buried it. And then actually there's 2 buckets in there. Anyway, yeah, so we can just turn the water on and off if we need to. You just gotta check for black widows when you do this kind of stuff. Okay, that's staying on now, so I just close it back up. This line here is the soaker line, runs down to the valve, and then the controller, and then tees into the soaker line. Plenty of water there. Just a drain. for now we're just going to manually turn it on. So the soaker line going in and over the roof, that's 2-inch line, and it is it's a 2-inch water line that runs underneath this feed lane, so lots of water through here. There's that kind of pressure with even that soaker line filling up with water and shooting out the front. There's been a few times that I've worked on these water troughs and had the water trough empty and popped the valve off and hit the roof with the water coming out of the pipe. So alright, what we'll do, now what we're going to do is we're just going to go down to the other end and I'm not going to turn it off because I don't want anything to move back or anything like that. I'm going to go down there and pull the cap off that and then let it run out both ends, and then just come back and turn the water off and then put the caps back in. We're just going to let that run for a little bit and then do the other side as we walk back up. And we'll turn the water off on that valve and then on the electric valve. And then get the other side going and then put the plugs back in. The plug on this one's rusted solid, so I had to take the whole damn cap off. It probably wouldn't any harder, just a little bit more of a pain in the butt. We're gonna get this put back on and then we'll go work on the controller. Alright, so we got that back on. So I gotta put the plug in on that side. I just had to get them snug, not to get them tight, just snug. Alright. So we'll walk up here to the controllers. They're not quite in the center, they're a little bit on the other end, but towards the front end. But we'll make sure the time's right and make sure temperatures and all that. I mean, it's been a while since we've used them. I was trying to think, it's got to be at least since November. 1st of November, end of October. Probably shut them down for the winter. So I'm sure we'll have to go through and change the time and all that kind of stuff. So see right here, you got your temperature, and I just looked at the other side, and it's only 1 degree difference. And what we have is out to the edge of the roof up there. We have the thermometer sensor. It's just kind of free hanging. About a foot below the 10, but underneath the 10 where the sun couldn't hit it. and everything like that. So it's getting a pretty good accurate air temperature reading. So it's saying 89.5 right now. So we'll go through here to our settings. Let's see, I gotta remember how to do this. Go to sprinkler controller, 20 seconds, that's good. Minimum cycle time. Let me see if I can explain it. The minimum cycle time would be like at 90 degrees, every 2 minutes it's going to be coming on. So, I don't know, where do we want to set that one? It's not that hot yet. You know, I mean, if we were hitting hundreds, let me think. If we were hitting 9,500, we'd probably want 2 minutes. So we're going to change that one. So right there on the cursor, that's hour, and that's minute. So we're just going to bump that up to 3. Okay, and then go down to our max cycle, which at your lowest temperature reading, that's where it's going to be. Like right now, it's a 6-minute gap. So every 6 minutes, it would turn off for 20 seconds. So that one we'll probably leave right there. Wait, wrong way. Low temp setting, it's at 76. So that would have been what we had it at the end of the year, when we still had cool mornings and stuff like that, and the humidity wasn't as bad. So right now, we're going to change that one. And scroll down. I'm just going to go ahead and set it at 72. I don't know why 72, it's just what popped in my head. High temp 80. Max temp 90. So at that minimum cycle and that maximum cycle, we changed the minimum cycle to 3 minutes, and the maximum cycle was at 6 minutes. So at your high temperature, it's going to turn on at every 4.5 minutes. So every 4.5 minutes, it's going to run 20 seconds. So, and then obviously if you had it set at 2 minutes, your minimum cycle, and your maximum cycle at 6, it's going to run every 4 minutes. So whatever you have those times set at, the high temperature, it's going to run in the middle. So, I think right now what we need to do is, what am I on? I'm on max. So at this time of year, I think, yeah, okay. At this time of year, our high temp, I think we need to bump it up to like 85. Let's see, get to 85. And then our max temp, ooh, wrong button. Our max temp, we'll put that one at 95 as well, or 95. And then that way, because it's still, like I said, it's not like blazing summer heat right now. So, here in another month, we have to change these temperatures because it's going to be, it's just going to feel hotter, even at the same temperature. Humidity and all that stuff. So, I think we have, enter. Yeah, so we got all that set, 20 seconds. At 72 degrees. We got our low temp set at 72. So even if we have the time frame that we want, if it's below 72, 71.9 degrees, it won't come on until it hits 72. Then it starts to go. So we got our low set at 72, our high temp at 85, which would be the mid-range soaking, and then our max temp at 95. So that will work great for now. And it's going to run every 20, it's going to run for 20 seconds. Yeah. So we'll come back out of that. I mean, this has got it where you can set your fan and alarms and all that. So active time, that's midnight. So group 1 comes in at 4:30. Start milking at 4, so the first cows are coming at 4:30. Yeah, it just kicked on. Just shut off. So group 1, we start milking at 4 o'clock. So group 1 goes in the barn at 4. If they happen to put milkers on right at 4 o'clock, the first 15 cows would be coming out at 4:15. Then the next side would be right after that. So up to about 4:30, there's only going to be 30 cows in here on the feed lane. So there's no reason to start it right when they start milking, or even with that first 30 cows out here. So we're going to set it for 4:40. And then that way, hopefully, the next 30 cows are starting to come out, and that way it's just not the whole line is running for just 30 cows. But they will be getting soaked when they come in on the ramp, so they'll already be nice and cooled off. This will just help keep them cool. Then group 1 should be gone by 6:30. So we changed our stop time to 6:30, and then it'll shut back off and it won't do anything. And then I'm just gonna tell Jason's working the feed lane tonight, but then I'm gonna tell him tonight, and then I'll tell Jeremy later that if they feel like when group 4 comes in on this side, if they need to be soaked, to go ahead and turn it back on, and then they can change the times how they want to, or they can also just do it automatic, manually. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and let it go to maintenance, manual control. It's on relay 1. Turn it on. I'm just gonna let it fill up with water. Once that pipe fills up with water for the first time, then after that, as soon as that water kicks on, it shoots out water. So right now it's just full of air. We had the plugs open and all that. Well, it's about completely out of air and full of water now. So we're just gonna go ahead and shut it off. Go back to the home screen, and we need to check the time. That's right. All right, well, that's getting the soaker lines going. We've already been soaking in the barn for about a week, just because sometimes the cows have a long walk to get to the barn. So you imagine walking that far and then getting in there at 80 degrees, so they can get kind of hot. So we go ahead and soak them in there, but we haven't soaked them in the feed lane yet. But now it's time to start. So let's see, for right now we're at that tongue for the rollers going to have to be put on hold for a little bit, because we got today's Thursday, so on Saturday we got some severe weather coming, and we are needing to get the dozer and fix a little drainage ditch over here and try to put some dirt on that culvert that we moved. And then what is the other thing? Just a couple other things I gotta do. So right now the roller's gonna wait, and we're gonna get some of this other stuff done first. Well, we got our dirt work done. I was in the wheel loader most of the time. Wes was on the little dozer for a long time. Then he got in the track hoe, and then I got on the little dozer. Then after that, we loaded up a trailer load of cows that went to the sale barn, which he's not even back yet from. I power washed the wheel loader all off and got all the mud out of the bucket. This one's covered in crap now. So it's 8 o'clock and I'm headed home now. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe.